Ooh. Hello, welcome to the last Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon. Spooky edition.
Yeah, a very spooky November 7th.
Look, the plan was we were going to record this on the 30th, but
Stuff happens.
Stuff happens.
Stuff happens. It's a very spooky time.
It's a spooky time. It's pretty much Christmas.
Yeah.
So, apologies for an almost out of character performance, but it's close enough.
It's close enough.
Anyway, this one's going to go up on the 9th. Whenever, that's the schedule. So,
Yeah, sure. There's going to be one person who's going to be like, this Halloween episode went up in November.
Right.
And they're going to send us angry emails.
We don't get any emails.
There's going to be one person. And it's going to be Adam Sandler.
It's going to be Adam Sandler. He's the only person that listens to this. Well, yes, the spooky season was upon us. And when I was growing up, I'm going to be honest, I don't feel like it was a thing when we were growing up, as much.
Honestly, the first real experience...
Is this going where I think it's going?
Yeah.
Do you know it's going to be 10 years next year?
Trick or Troll anniversary, 10 years. That's a decade.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
My first experience was with you.
Yeah.
Walking around these
parts.
These boulevards of broken dreams.
Who was it that cut their hand clean open? Was it Alex?
It was some idiot.
So everything was broken that day.
Yes. And yeah, we confused a lot of old residents.
Yo, we, 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
It was ghost town around here. You know how many kids came to our door? 70.
7 this year?
Yes, 17, not 17, 70.
Wow.
Yeah, bonkers.
I don't think we got any. I almost ran over a couple on my way home, but none came to my house.
Lit. My dad gets into it. He was decorating. He's like, should I make a graveyard in the front yard? And I was like, how about you just hang the skeleton, before we start actually having to dig into the hedge fund.
You're up at a 9. We need you down at a 4.
We need to bring it back a little bit.
Yeah, we need to rein it in. This is Australia.
But on the day before, everything was 50% off at Spotlight, all the stuff. So most of it was gone, but we just got what was left and nailed it.
Bro, you nailed it.
Nailed it. There was a $1 bag of raw cotton, just so that it was labelled Spotlight.
Oh, yes.
Just raw unprocessed cotton, just put it everywhere, and all the kids come running. Yeah.
We love our cotton.
We love it. They got cotton. They got cotton at their house. I
got to get that cotton.
Yeah. No, it was crazy. My dad had to run down to the supermarket to get more chocolates.
More cotton?
No. No more chocolates because the kids wouldn't stop coming. And my mum...
Shit, we don't have enough cotton.
My mum was like, stop giving them 2 pieces. So I was giving them 2 pieces because I didn't want to pick out a single piece and then hand it. Because it makes me look...
Yeah.
It's so embarrassing to be here, child, have only 1 piece of candy.
Yeah.
It's just so much cooler to give a kid a handful,
When people do show up every year, it's the same story in my household, but you can have a Tim Tam, as opposed, you gotta eat it now, but...
You can have a Tim Tam. They were giving away toothpaste across the street, one kid told me. We gave a kid batteries. He said, can I have some AA batteries?
Hey man, that's a mad hustle.
And I said no, because... It's not battery wean,
Yeah,
come on, mate.
Battery.
But my mum said, we should have some. And then the kid's just standing there for 5 minutes while my mum's talking about batteries. And I'm standing there. I look like insane. I don't know if you saw my fit, but I was in drag.
I did see it. It was very spooky, very fabulous.
Spooky. Yeah. So I'm just sitting there on the patio, just hello. The kids walking past. The strange man in a wig. Yeah, brilliant. So that was our, and you kind of had a quieter night.
I was working
at the restaurant.
At the restaurant.
The most famous restaurant. Just celebrity sightings everywhere.
Yes. That one guy from Home and Away.
Alf,
served him. I seem like I'm the only guy in Australia who doesn't know who this person is. But everyone's
it's not
oh my god, that's Alf. And I'm like, which one?
It's like not knowing who the Prime Minister is, bro.
I should educate myself.
Yeah.
In the Home and Away.
Yeah.
Is it Home and Away or Neighbours?
Home and Away. I don't even watch Home and Away, but I know Alf. It's Alf.
I feel embarrassed and called out.
Should be. Yeah. And who else did you see? You saw that guy from Midnight Oil.
Midnight Oil, dances a lot. Peter
He's
Garrett.
bold, yeah. He's bold.
He's bold and does some
Yeah.
kind of spastic dances. Like
He's like a leftist, you know.
your big leftist back in the day. It was it's the kind of band that Rage Against the Machine would be like, hey, less politics. You know? They were very political back in the day.
Racist Australians listen to it and think it's cool, while meanwhile, the whole band would like jump them instantly if they saw him.
He's a big man, Peter Garrett.
He's a big lad.
He's a giant, bold, kind of scary John Malkovich looking man.
Brilliant. So, that's what we got up to.
Yeah.
Drop a comment. Heck, Heck, trick, even. Shoot.
Hey. By golly.
Dang it, nabbit.
We're breaking out the spooky language.
The lingo. Right, yeah. Well, let us know on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, even though we don't check those. Send us an email, don't check those either.
Yeah. You know what? Just listen and just speak your thoughts out loud.
Just think about what you were doing on Halloween this year.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Think about it, reminisce.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, well, we better get into some content. It was good to catch up. A little bit of context for this spooky episode. Mm-hmm. Put some spooky music in the background, maybe.
Yeah. Ooh. Spooky enough.
So I'm like, every night's spooky because we have palms. We have a lot of palms on this property, and palms grow dates. And bats love dates. So I just hear outside my window every night at like 1 a.m. So every day is spooky day here.
It's Dracula. It's Adam Sandler.
It's Adam Sandler Dracula come for the dates.
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler has had a slow week. He really has. Slow couple weeks. What has he been up to? He's wrapped his movie.
Yeah.
He's probably at home with the kids.
It's interesting. You feel like celebrities are always like on the ball. They're always doing something. But when you like actually try and monitor them week by week, especially someone who's so elusive and so mysterious, enigmatic as Adam Sandler,
right?
He just kind of goes off the radar for a bit, and goes to his California mansion,
right? We imagine he lives there. We did speculate he could be in Wyoming with Kanye West last time.
They split the commish on the ranch.
That's why he can make so many movies. He doesn't pay LA taxes. True. Anyway, allegedly, we don't have that kind of intel. But the intel we do have is, we'll start with the more mundane things. Adam posted on his Instagram that he was reminiscing about Billy Madison, his movie from 25 years ago. He found some old Browning papers in the bottom of something, I guess. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Browning, he didn't wipe his ass with them, but they're just old. Aging papers.
He might have kept some. Sell them on eBay, I don't know.
Yeah.
Someone will pay for it.
Anyway, he just posted it. Maybe he found it at the bottom of something. It was like, neat. I remember making that movie. I don't think he'd ever forget, but...
Look, celebrities are allowed to get nostalgic as well.
Yeah, they're people too, I think. Right. So we have some Halloween news that is also Adam Sandler related.
Ooh, lovely.
Hoopy Halloween. We talked about it last time. Yes. Adam Sandler's Halloween themed feature film. Yes.
I have seen it. You seen a bit of it.
I've seen the first 5 minutes.
Which seems to be a...
I do that a lot.
A commonality with your Adam Sandler films.
I do. Oh, pretty much all films, basically. Someone's like, have you seen this? First 5 minutes. Have you seen Pulp Fiction? First 5 minutes. So, Hoopy Halloween cracks top 10 on, how Netflix has a top 10?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's back on top 10 for
wow.
that week. Despite, and I love that the news publication put this, despite poor reviews and ratings.
I'm surprised that it's... Because you always have those like classic horror movies that'll climb up the Netflix charts every year. But I wouldn't see that as a reoccurring classic.
Right, yeah.
But I guess it has Halloween in the name, so like some people just like, type in Halloween. No one has Halloween in the name.
It might be like that, it's like you said, there's certain movies that everyone watches, like Bobby Pickett Jr.'s family probably gets a nice royalty check every Halloween because everyone's playing Monster Mash.
Sure, yeah.
Same with Mariah Carey, probably gets a great check every Christmas. But, I wouldn't put Adam Sandler on that kind of roster to kind of be so culturally significant.
Especially because it's so recent. It hasn't had time to ruminate in the pop culture.
Exactly. How many other films have referenced Hubie Halloween 2020, Adam Sandler classic, modern classic.
Modern. It's definitely a modern film.
Okay, so I don't even know what our movies were this week.
Okay, so we had two movies that we suggested for a spooky Halloween special. We wanted to view some of the classics that we haven't watched.
Right.
I watched one of the movies that we suggested.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't even sure. I didn't know if we said to watch Nightmare on Elm Street.
So, I think that was at some point we were throwing out names.
And I think at some point we were going to watch Halloween as well.
Look, Halloween Part 2 coming in December. Next year. But the ones I think we settled on were Friday the 13th and the one that I watched about half an hour ago. The Exorcist.
It's been a big week, yeah.
Yeah.
I watch to get through some of these. I watch them on 2 times speed on Netflix because you can do that.
Yeah.
And my brain is advanced enough to process it still. So.
Oh my god! I'm in the presence of greatness.
I just know that some people try to watch a movie on 2 times speed, they shit themselves. So, not me.
I would turn into Adam Sandler and Billy Madison.
Yeah.
And I would
piss your pants.
Piss my pants and brown some papers.
God. Okay. Well.
You watched Friday the 13th.
I did.
And the biggest meme about Friday the 13th I've heard is that Jason isn't even in the first one.
Yeah. No, he's not.
Tell me about that.
I thought Jason was the killer. The killer is a Karen. It's a killer Karen.
It's Killer Karen?
No, spoiler alert, the movie's from 1971, so shut up. Don't complain about spoilers from a 45...
Go watch Eternals, you...
Yeah, but make sure you stay for the post-credit scene to see Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler is like... His Modoc is just a flying head.
He's on tour. He's on tour at the moment.
Yeah.
Right, so that is a good point. I didn't know anything about this movie going in. Like, I'd heard kind of about some of the serial killers in these classic movies, like Freddy Fazbear from the game. Yeah, Freddy Fazbear from
Five Nights at Freddy's.
From Five Nights at
My favourite horror movie. Monster.
Wait, it's Freddy somebody from
Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, Jason Voorhees.
And then Michael Myers from Halloween as well.
Sure.
Not to be confused with
Mike Myers.
Mike Myers, Canadian actor.
Yeah.
Who
I thought he was British.
Really?
Well, like he did.
One of his.
He did Shrek and he did Austin Powers.
Yeah.
I thought that was just him.
Yeah,
he did a lot of British accents.
He did well. He did. He's a man of a million voices. But also, not to be confused with Michael Myers from Halloween, which I've seen the original one. I've seen the remake, the Rob Zombie remake from 2010.
How's that?
They're both okay. Like they're not memorable at all. Like I barely know what happens, but I can barely remember what happens in either of them. But yeah, it's kind of just like kids be alive and then they're not.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it like a summer camp kind of vibe?
No, it's just like a neighborhood. It's like a quiet, peaceful, white suburban neighborhood with white peopling, and then like turns out like there's a mentally ill person on the block. Oh God!
Wow!
Shit!
can't be having those.
There's a mentally ill person on the block, and everyone was like, "Have you heard about that house? Oh my God! There's a mentally ill person living in there." And then it turns out he is mentally ill.
Yeah.
And a person.
Yeah.
And then everybody dies, I think. I don't know. Usually one person survives in these.
Love it.
But yeah, so Friday the 13th is a summer camp one.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know anything about this going in. So the camp is kind of like in rural America.
Sure.
Yeah. And so, how I don't know much about summer camps and things like that. You wouldn't catch me dead in one of them. So yeah, this was different. This was like people go to this camp for fun. And voluntarily, but it's not open yet. Maybe summer hasn't started, so they've just got the camp counselors, which are like 17-year-olds who just run the place into the ground, and sometimes they have sex with each other, from what I've heard.
Seems pretty normal so far.
It's pretty normal.
Yeah.
But they're kind of sitting up. They kind of all the like older teenagers are there. It's a bit shit. It is raining. The power goes out. A few other things. But then one by one they all go. And I don't know how. Look, they kind of met each other for the first time, and they're all kind of like partnered already.
Oh,
So,
I see.
Interesting.
The movie, the magic of movies.
Yeah. They kind of like, I don't know what happens, but at some point they're like, all right, Ben is going to be having sex with Sarah. This all happens off screen, but like somehow they all get partnered, and they all run off to have sex with each other, and then they mysteriously get murdered, and we don't know, what's going on. It's kind of weird because like it's shot like they have like it's kind of like first person, and before people die, they're like, oh hi, how are you? They kind of like break the fourth wall, and then we get to see kind of the POV as they get killed, which I thought was cool. I've never seen anything like that before. Yeah. Should bring it back. The kind of those fourth wall breaks, a bit fun.
Yeah. This Adam Sandler, bring it back.
Yeah, you're hearing this, Adam. But I guess spoilers. This movie is older than my mum, so not my dad though. Rip. This movie is old as, but yes. The killer is a Karen, about a 45-year-old woman, and she's like all innocent. She's like, "Oh, hello, dearie," with her little handbag, and then like the one chick that's left is like, "Everybody's dead," and then like she doesn't question why there's like an old woman in the middle of nowhere. It's like, "It's okay, dearie," and then like the mood changes and it's like, "I killed everyone because my son is dead." It's like, wow, awesome, lit. Didn't see that coming. To be fair. But it's like a cute little old lady.
So, you didn't get to see the woman until the end, or was she like?
You didn't get to see the killer because every time the killer was killing, it was in first person.
Oh.
So that was cool. And then I guess Jason was the son that drowned, but then again, like he's kind of like the face of this thing. So I'm not.
Comes out in the sequels.
Yeah, he comes back from the dead. I'm not sure what's going on there, but yeah, cool. Stranger things.
Some Karen magic.
Yeah.
Dark magic. Look, it sounds like this movie was way ahead of the zeitgeist against Karens.
Yeah,
because that's a very current thing to.
Yes, exactly.
To rebel against the conformity of the middle-aged white woman.
Exactly. She had no managers to speak to, so you had to take the reasonable next step besides going to corporate. Kill everyone. Kill everyone.
They will be hearing from lawyers.
They will be hearing from her lawyers.
Yeah.
When she is sentenced for quadruple homicide.
Yeah.
So, would I recommend it? It's alright.
It's alright.
Okay.
Wasn't... In terms of our other movie this week, The Exorcist, which I would say, like, it's a classic for a reason. Would you say it was on that same level? Yeah,
it's really... I don't know who directed it. I think, is it one of the big guys? I'm not sure, but it's it's from 1970, so it's quite old. Actually, I think Friday the 13th from 1980, actually. So
sure,
yeah. But Friday the 13th looks very amateur, kind of in comparison to this film, which is significantly older. So it is a very impressive looking film.
The Exorcist was directed by William Friedkin.
Not familiar with him.
Not familiar.
But he does a good job. Obviously the gore effects are a bit shit, as composed to some later kind of films or even films from the same era.
I think it worked.
Yeah, it doesn't take you out of it or anything.
Okay, so this movie is very unsettling.
You wouldn't be the first to say that.
I think one of the most haunting elements of it is just the way it just kind of lingers on the more horrifying aspects of it. Like even the hospital scenes where she gets checked out. It's basically just a hospital procedure. But that was like the moment where I was squirming the most. Yeah. It's just like, hold still. We'll have a close up of you sticking the needle in, pulling it out.
Yeah, and it also kind of the thing about those things is it's very dated technology, which kind of makes it like kind of more confronting like to modern viewers than it probably even was at the time. Yeah. But like when she's getting an MRI, that MRI is ugly.
It's ugly.
Yeah,
it's clunky.
It's so loud. Like I've had an MRI before. They're loud, but like they're designed much more kind of effectively.
Yeah, doesn't look like it was made.
Doesn't look like a torture device.
for a like a accessory for the Nintendo Wii.
Yeah, it's like, and like they give you like headphones and things when you get MRI, and they just put her in like, all right, do I hear a loud noise?
Yeah. Oh, the actor for Reagan.
Yeah.
Standout performance.
Yeah,
I'd say for an actor her age, with a lot of very confronting stuff. I think she knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, she did well. Yeah, the acting is very good in this. I liked the Greek priest.
Damien.
Yeah, he was cool.
He was a very Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, he was a dilf.
It was a big old Greek dilf.
It was a dilf. And I was really confused when it started, kind of the whole archaeology stuff. I was like, is this the right movie?
I kind of skipped through it. I was on
It doesn't,
because I was on a tight schedule, and I kind of knew where like the story was going, and for some reason I just kind of knew that it wouldn't really be that important. Like the origin of the demon.
I don't even know if it was the origin, because it's kind of not clear.
It's not clear
because all right, so the main archaeologist on this dig is a priest, and he's the same priest that does the exorcism, and and there's like a motif of like a devil, kind of an oriental devil thing that appears throughout the film.
Yeah.
But then there's also kind of witchcraft elements. So I don't know how she even got possessed. She was playing with kind of witchcraft and playing with the Ouija board.
Yeah.
Which I thought was going to be it, but then there was that whole thing about the archaeology dig, which like looked like super obvious foreshadowing, but I'm not sure.
Because it's the Exorcist that comes back at the end. Who was the guy at the beginning.
Yeah.
So when I was watching it, I assumed like he brought that weird like totem that he found back, and that's how the demon found its way over.
Yeah. Makes sense, but like we don't really get to kind of see more of that. If like we'd seen kind of like maybe she acquires like a totem somehow, then that would make more sense. But we don't really see that. She just hangs out in her house, and then.
Well, the thing is, like, it doesn't really matter all that much.
Yeah, no.
Like it would help like understand how the demon got there and all that, but I'm not sure it would really improve the quality all that much, because it's a very tight movie, even though it's like 2 hours long.
Yeah. No, it doesn't feel kind of like stretched out like the new Eternals movie. I was on my phone a lot. My brother was
throwing
pissed off.
Mad shade.
No, it goes for 3 hours. And
3 hours?
Yeah.
That's like the big end game.
Because they have like 8 main characters and they all need a backstory, obviously.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I'm sure we'll come back around to Eternals. Yeah. Once I've seen it, we'll have more of an in-depth discussion.
Right, yeah, no. Off topic. But,
but this, I think even the editing, like the very jarring like cuts, made this film just kind of barrel forward.
Yeah, the pacing was really good. And that's something I appreciate. Well, also had great pacing.
Did Friday the 13th have good pacing?
No,
it was very, very stretched out. It seems like...
Yeah, there were like scenes that did not need to be there. Like there was like a 10-minute sequence in which kind of the guy who owns the camp is driving, and then his car breaks down and there's no cuts, and then he's like, oh shit, my car broke down, and he's like standing around, and then the police officer comes and is like, do you need a lift back to the camp? It's like, yeah, sure. And then he takes him back to the camp. And that's it. And it goes for like 10 minutes. And it's like, okay, awesome.
It seems like the very nature of like introducing the killer at the very end kind of feels back heavy, whereas like everything kind of gets dumped at the end, where in The Exorcist you slowly get
like the possession happened like way early on than I thought it was gonna.
Like usually in modern horror films they either do it way too quickly and just kind of like thrust. It's raining. Spooky. Yeah, they just kind of throw you into it without the proper tension build up, or they abuse the tension and just kind of snap it at the very end without giving it the time to shine. But it's an excellent like balance of that.
It is. It's sorry.
Sorry, am I keeping
No,
you
sorry. I was thinking about pacing and how boring it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially when the pacing is bad, which drives me nuts. But no, yeah, you're right. the pacing of this film is good.
It's very good.
It wasn't a second too long. I feel, you know.
True. Apart from the beginning, maybe. That Indiana Jones intro.
I mean, it shook it. It changed it up a little bit. I wasn't expecting it, and it didn't go on for too long, you know. So,
yeah.
But even when kind of I was worried that the pacing was going to go off the rails, they didn't. They had to take a break and go back to the exorcism. I was like, oh, we're going to have another exorcism sequence, but then kind of I don't want to spoil too much because it's worth seeing, even though it's old.
Yeah.
Kind of it's not what kind of you kind of expect something bad to happen.
Yeah.
But but I was also kind of expecting another long kind of I don't know why. I was just kind of expecting it to work. I was expecting the exorcism to. And there'd be a happy ending, I don't know. But that's not the case.
That is very much not the case.
Yeah.
I feel like it wouldn't be as effective as it is if it had the Conjuring, the demon is gone.
Yeah.
No one is hurt at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
This feels like the consequences of everything has come to a head here.
Yeah. The sacrifice.
The sacrifice.
The sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just googling The Exorcist while I was watching it, just maybe find some fun facts.
Facts. Yeah.
Back in the day, in 70, 71, 70, around that time, people were literally throwing up, pissing themselves.
Well, people would have been super religious back then as well. So people would have
super religious and not used to this kind of film.
Yeah.
Because it was very it pushes the boundaries today.
Yeah.
And
then the priest's like, shut up.
It was so, and it was kind of funny when it was kindly requesting that one priest perform coitus on the other. He's like, go on, do it. Now's your chance, do it. It was
me as a demon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be doing that.
Do it. It was. It's a scary film.
If you imagine kind of religious people who haven't even thought of gay sex in their life, seeing that, and then also kind of the fact that they probably do believe in demon possession and things like that. It's kind of it takes it to the next level. Well, can we kind of watch this and we know that there's kind of like it is explained in the movie. It's all kind of history of demon possession. It's just people not knowing what kind of schizophrenia is. But and I kind of like it that they did it from that angle where there's this doubt, because I feel like it wouldn't have been cool if the mother was my daughter's possessed, and then the priest is oh shit, really?
Yeah. Oh, let's go.
Let's go. It happens in The Conjuring, by the way.
Yeah. It's You kind of start questioning it. Yes, you kind of see that it's legit, but you understand from the perspective of Damien that he's trying to think about it logically.
Yeah.
Which is probably not the way that he should have done it, but
no, it makes sense. And then she has every test done possibly, and the doctors have all these theories, and they make sense. But I think that's more effective than it's just everyone's yo, for real, she's definitely possessed, man.
Yeah.
Make it more realistic,
I just like it's very 70s of them to be oh, what would the devil say? Gay sex, gay sex. It's very much a...
Little Nas proves that is exactly right.
Yeah, that's what devils do.
Yeah.
They entice you towards gay sex. Thanks, Lil Nas, for enlightening the masses.
Right, I think that's kind of everything. If you haven't seen it, you should, because it's a classic. And I can't believe it took me this long to watch it even.
Same. I feel like it's one of those... As I said to you before, when you're watching it, you feel like you're watching a parody, but this is the thing that all the other parodies originated from.
Yeah, I don't get that feeling, but maybe that's because I haven't seen any other possession kind of movies.
Sure.
Except I saw The Conjuring when it came out because it was marketed as the scariest movie of all time, and I was 12 when it came out, and I watched it and it was boring as. So thank you for nothing. But I do believe, from memory, someone gets possessed and exorcised. But
yeah, I think that's the very Conjuring thing to do. But yeah, it in the modern Conjuring kind of thing, it's we're demon hunters and we're experts. We know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
And we're going to tell you exactly how to do it, and your little girl's going to be fine. But in this movie, it's just a priest going, I don't know. We could.
Little girl isn't fine, and no one else.
No, she's probably going to die. Does she have schizophrenia? Perhaps.
And I know I said the gore kind of effects were bad, like when people like are bleeding and stuff. It's just like very obviously strawberry jam. It looks tasty, but kind of the makeup on Reagan and then later on the other guy is very. I like seeing kind of that progression as kind of like the makeup got a bit more severe at every kind of like scene. She just looks a little sleep deprived in the beginning, and then towards the end, like she's rotting. So
feels like the possession was really like decaying her body.
Love a little bit of sense of progression.
And just some practical effects, some practical bomb, just some green slime from.
That was good.
Just squirted on out.
Yeah, that's again, it looks kind of like sometimes it looked realistic and sometimes it didn't. So it was shot in the dark.
Yeah.
With some of these effects, the blood didn't look realistic, but the makeup did, and other kind of just like.
Look, whatever they did, it was effective.
Yeah, I wish someone could I wish we could tap into kind of this again, but we kind of don't have a lot of. There's not many stones that have been unturned that we can kind of ethically kind of explore anymore. We'll dig into that another time. But kind of we talked about this before, kind of when we were looking at Martyrs. Kind of there's kind of like a area of Western accessibility in which people don't try and push the envelope so much, kind of in order to sell. But this was a instance when they did, and like it paid off. And I guess in doing that, if you want to make something super controversial, you're really putting yourself at risk of making something stupid as shit. You can't really kind of, you could put like everything kind of taboo in your film in order to kind of turn heads. Like Human Centipede, for example, that was another kind of, but that was quite tame, or at least the first one. Like, it's kind of the concept is more disturbing than the actual film. But that was kind of the only time, and again, I think that's from Sweden as well. That was kind of the only time that there was like someone kind of was successfully able to find a medium between something that's super out there and controversial, but also accessible.
Yeah.
No one's done it since, but they've tried, and that film wasn't any good anyway. So
I don't think it would be very difficult to recreate this kind of magic where it's like it's very confronting and like disturbing, but it's not entirely kind of valueless in the way that it like pushes the boundaries.
It would have to be kind of a medium that is very new. It would have to be like a VR film or something like that.
Sure.
In order to kind of recreate like that same kind of like, this has never been done before, bro.
Yeah. The pushing the envelopes. Yeah. Like this would have done in the 70s.
Yeah. I don't think there's any film that is legal that I can watch that is going to get under my skin at this point.
Not in a very
not
lasting
not in the way that like I'm going to throw up and piss and shit myself.
Yeah. In the cinema.
Yeah,
roll over on the floor.
Obviously there's some movies that are kind of, I'm disturbed by, like we watch The Platform, but there is nothing you can show me that you can produce legally that will make me piss and shit myself. Obviously, if you showed me like a real snuff film or something, I might piss and shit myself a little bit, but then again, like effects are so good that like people who are actually into that kind of thing and seek out this kind of like gore and stuff are like, well, it actually looks faker than a fake one, because we're kind of used to seeing over the top gore effects that actually don't look like what it actually looks like to be beheaded. A real beheading looks faker than a fake beheading. So I think that's everything.
I think we've had this has felt like a more concise discussion than we've had in a long time.
We'll aim to be a bit kind of I don't know, precise with kind of what we want to watch, because I wasn't even sure what we were watching, or we kind of what we settled on making. But I guess maybe we should talk about before we end kind of what are we doing next time.
What are we doing next time? I think I need something more wholesome.
Yes, we've been doing a lot of heavy stuff lately.
We need to cleanse the palate.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Well, you've seen Eternals. I haven't seen Eternals.
Yeah.
Maybe after I go see Eternals in the next 2 weeks, we could talk about some superhero nonsense.
Well, we could talk about MCU Stage 4, because that's kind of what's going on, isn't it?
Correct.
What movies are in Stage 4? There's
a lot of the Disney Plus series.
Oh, I haven't seen all of those. Yeah. Spider-Man coming out.
Spider-Man?
Well. Yeah.
With all the Andrew McGarfield and Toby Garguire.
I'll try and finish at least one of. I'm almost finished WandaVision, but I kind of
Sure.
TV shows that are like hour-long episodes are kind of like a pain in the ass to get through. I like 20-minute TV episodes. So.
Yeah, because I watched them like when they came out each week. It was pretty good. I think Loki was my favorite one. It was very Doctor Who kind of vibes.
Ooh,
Owen Wilson is there.
Oh, he is too.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Loki.
Well, maybe you'll watch the Eternals. And I'll try and catch up on some of these things, and we'll talk about MCU Stage 4.
Sure. We'll see what's cooking.
Yeah.
See what's coming out soon.
Yeah, a lot of things coming out soon.
Yeah.
New Thor, I think they wrapped on that recently. That might be a bit far away, but
that's like next year though. Everything's like coming up quick.
Yeah. New Spider-Man, I think, is this year.
Yeah, a new Doctor Strange by Sam Raimi. Next year, Sam Raimi's.
Dormammu, I have come to have gay sex.
The devil is that you?
Right. I think that's good stuff. You know,
I think that's good stuff.
We'll talk about that spoiler for
yes.
Eternals.
We'll come back and we'll spoil it on here. Once I've had more context for why
he's there, why Adam Sandler is there,
why Adam Sandler walks in, pisses himself, and walks.
Adam Sandler's got to come to the MCU. Yeah. Well, actually, no, he won't work with any other company because he just wants to be Adam Sandler Productions.
Hey, man, you got to respect the Sandler hustle.
It's his new movie, Hustle, which we'll also be reviewing at some point.
Oh my god! As soon as that comes out, we're on it. All right. Well, if you like superheroes, join us next time. We'll talk about some of those, and we'll talk about the new Eternals movie, which you are going to see. It's very long. Good.
And it's I thought it was we'll talk about it in more detail, but I thought it was an interesting concept. Everyone's based off Greek gods and things.
Yeah.
I like those.
Yeah, and I heard it was like getting review bombed by critics for being too woke.
Too woke.
It's because genuinely, it's been getting review bombed.
Look, as a hyper woke person, I can tell when something's too woke.
Look.
What is too woke? The new Cinderella movie, kind of with Camila Cabello. There's just black people in this. Can you guys shut up for 1 minute and just let black people be in movies?
Anyway, we'll talk about the wokeness or lack thereof next week of Eternals. Maybe we'll pick our favorite.
I can't even get over that. That's the stupidest movie to woke bomb.
Yeah, maybe we'll pick our favorite other MCU film to briefly talk about. I remember our first episode we had like the short list for our favorite, and I think Iron Man was on yours.
Iron Man, he's my favorite.
Maybe we can touch on that. Why you like that the most?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Looking forward to it. All right, thank you for the Spook Magooks, Finmas.
Oh, thank you for the Spook Magooks, Holden Walker.
We'll be back in 2 weeks, and
or maybe 2 weeks. I don't know.
Maybe.
Probably.
That's the goal. But awesome. Okay, I made some rice this morning. I'm going to go eat that.
Beautiful.
And the rain has stopped, so you can scurry.
I can scurry.
Yeah, got things to do.
And not
probably
get too wet.
Or you can stick around. It's up to you.
I think I need a nap.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for listening to this spooky episode of The Last Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon. Yes, see you. Salutations. That means good.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Yes. Goodbye.
Goodbye.